Next slide, please. So today we are talking about new careers and new you, specifically how you can transition from the career you are in now to the medical device space in 2026. And we have a very esteemed panel experts here: John Quattrochi, Program Director with Medical Sales College; Daniel Goodwin, a Director at MedReps, close partners of Medical Sales College for many, many years now. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And if you would please just give a brief introduction. John, we'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah. My name is John Quattrochi, and I am the Program Director of the Total Ortho Program here at Medical Sales College. My career actually started about 40 years ago in chiropractic, where I practiced for nearly 2 decades before transitioning into the medical device sales industry. I spent the bulk of my industry career experience in the sports medicine world, with some time in robotic joint replacement as well. And now for the past 4 years, I've been here at Medical Sales College, first as an instructor, and then as the campus director here in Atlanta, and now, of course, the program director for the Total Ortho program. And, I have to say that it's been incredibly rewarding to help students build the foundation they need to step confidently into this industry.
Thank you, John. And Daniel, if you would, please.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Goodwin. I'm Director of MedReps. And full disclosure, I do not come from a medical sales background. My roots are in platform development and project management. For over 20 years, I lived in the world of finance, building systems, punching data, and trying to add up numbers that sometimes didn't always seem to agree. But about 5 years ago, I traded in my spreadsheets for science, jumped into the life science space, and that's when I met MedReps, and kind of the rest is history. But I'm thrilled to share today a little bit about what the data is telling us about the future of the industry, especially as we look ahead to 2026. So I think there's some exciting trends that I'd like to share.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. So just for the edification of the audience, MSC technically could be considered a education provider, and MedReps technically could be a SaaS, software as a service solution. But at the end of the day, the reason we're partners is our existence is to help people get jobs in medical device sales. And we share that mission together. And that's why we've been partnered so closely. And we're excited to speak with you all today. All right, next slide, please. So here's what we'll be talking about, what pathways into this career will look like. Also an overview of the industry for those maybe who aren't super familiar. What MSC's role is in the value chain, both for our students as well as the industry. We're going to talk about some medical sales hiring insights. Daniel's got some pretty interesting data to share with the group. We'll do a brief demo of the MedReps platform. And then, as I said earlier, if we have some time for question and answer, we'll do that at the end. All right. So, John, I'm going to throw it over to you and give folks an overview of why this career path is so rewarding, why you spent your life dedicated to it, both in the field and now educating the sales leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. So for me, a career in the medical device sales industry has been incredibly rewarding. I've built friendships across the entire hospital ecosystem, from security guards and janitors all the way up to the surgeons and administrators. Those relationships have enriched my life in ways that I really could never have expected, not just professionally, but personally. So in many cases, in some of these relationships, I've even gotten to know their families. And for someone like myself, who is naturally outgoing and gregarious, that kind of connection has meant a lot. And then professionally, what kept me going year after year was the chance to bring meaningful technology into the operating room, and knowing that a product that I help introduce could genuinely improve someone's life. So there's really nothing like hearing that a patient, a mother or grandparent, or even the surgeon themselves really, who have benefited from the technology that I help support. That was always a driving force for me. And of course, from a financial standpoint, this industry can really provide you very well. When I transitioned from chiropractic into the medical device sales industry, there were 2 boxes I needed to check. Number one, could I still help sick people get well? That was a mantra since I was a little boy. And then number two, could I maintain or ideally even improve my financial stability? And the answer to both of those questions was a resounding yes. As I tell my students regularly, that device reps are an integral part of the healthcare delivery system. Make no mistake about that. And financially, of course, the career not only met my expectations, but it exceeded them. So for me, this career has been kind of the perfect blend of purpose, people, and really prosperity. It allowed me to keep helping patients. It also helped me to build lifelong relationships and support my family in a way that, I'm really, really grateful for. So, who makes a good candidate for a medical device rep? And of course, we're talking mostly about career changers who are looking to break into the medical sales industry here in 2026. And the key, in my opinion, is translating what you already do well into what the industry values and what we're looking for in the industry. You're going to do that by first starting to identify your transferable strengths and skills. And that could be communications, work ethic, critical thinking skills, and problem solving skills, and the things you've already proven in other roles. And then what I think you need to do is focus on filling the gaps, such as basic anatomy, clinical language, or understanding how the medical sales process works. At MSC, we provide targeted training to strengthen those specific skills for career changers like many of you who are trying to move into medical sales. Then from there, you need to network intentionally. We do this mostly on LinkedIn by connecting with reps and sales managers. And when you get an interview, this is really important, you need to go in prepared. You need to know the company, you need to know their products, their values. And then you also need to know the clinical problems that they're trying to solve. And also, you should know their competitors. When you combine that kind of preparation with structured training and a resume that's but is built around quantifiable results, you stop looking like a career changer and you start to look like a solution to a hiring manager's problem. Mm-hmm. So what does a day in the life of a medical rep look like? Well, it depends. We'll hear that a lot in medical devices, but a day in the life of a medical rep really depends on which part of the industry you're in. But here in orthopedics, what I mostly dealt with in my career, it's a mix of relationship building, case coverage, and logistics. You're constantly developing rapport with surgeons, with staff, administrators, because we know that strong relationships opens the door to conversations, opportunities, and ultimately business. And so you may also spend part of your day in the OR supporting procedures where you're going to be introducing new technology. You may be training staff, and you're also going to be there, right? An important part of your job to ensure that the implants and instruments are being used safely and correctly for the benefit of the patient, of course. There's also a major operational side to this industry, and that is managing inventory, coordinating trays, and tracking disposables, and making sure that billing and documentation are accurate. And one more important thing actually to remember here is that not every device role is tied to surgery. Some reps actually focus on products like durable medical equipment, bone stimulators, pain pumps, and positions where you may work directly with patients and never really step into the operating room. So whether you are in the operating room covering cases or out in the field, it's all a dynamic, relationship-driven career built around solving problems and supporting patient care. So why do people move into a medical sales role? And there are a few main reasons for this. One of the big ones, or one of the big draws, is the strong earning potential, of course. This is especially true when you reach a position where you can earn commissions. In many jobs, these commissions have no cap. So your income is, it matches really your effort and the results that you're getting in the industry. The work is also very, very meaningful, of course. You can help improve patient care. You're going to support surgeons and introduce new technology into the operating room. This is, to me, is one of the things that I treasured mostly, is knowing that I'm bringing new technology into the operating room and being an integral part of that healthcare delivery system. The industry then also offers clear paths for career growth, from associate roles to more senior positions. And then finally, many skills from other careers, like communication, building relationships, and problem solving, fit well in this field. For many people, of course, medical sales offers a unique mix, really, of a purpose, growth, and then, of course, the financial opportunity. Now, building on all the things we just talked about for career changers, this slide really highlights the practical steps that breaking into medical sales speaks about. It starts with knowing your strengths and aligning them with what industry values are, and that are many, including communication, service mindset, problem solving abilities, etc. Then it's about filling the knowledge gaps, whether that's anatomy, clinical terminology, or how the sales process works. From there, you need to network with intention, as I mentioned, on LinkedIn, and then tailor your resume to show measurable results and get structured training to accelerate your readiness. And finally, you need to research your target company so that you can speak their language in every conversation. When you do all these things together, right, you immediately stand out as a prepared, incredible candidate. So at Medical Sales College, we offer 3 focused pathways into the industry. We have our orthobiologics and regenerative medicine program, which is an 8-week hybrid course that dives into bone grafting, tissue repair, and certain biologic products that are used in patient healing. Then, of course, we have the Total Ortho program, which is a 10-week hybrid orthopedic program, which combines online learning, virtual reality training, and a hands-on lab week covering knees, hips, trauma, and sports medicine. And then, our Total Ortho Plus program is our fully in-person 10-week program that offers our most immersive experience with daily instruction, Sawbones Lab, and advanced sales training. Now, all these programs, of course, are designed to build strong clinical knowledge, real-world sales skills, and confidence for you to enter the medical device industry. So our 2 premier programs, the Total Ortho is our flagship 10-week hybrid orthopedic sales program that gives you both knowledge and hands-on experience. Of course, most of that is learning online, right? But what really sets this program apart is the virtual reality surgical training. And then you do have a 1-week in-person experience where you're going to get your hands on instruments to do Sawbones labs. You'll have real case scenarios under the guidance of our instructors, who are all industry experts. You're going to learn anatomy, pathology, surgical technique fundamentals. You'll learn consultative sales skills and business acumen, right? The curriculum that we've developed was from input that we got from hiring managers and experienced device reps. So it's exactly, really, what companies are looking for in new talent. By the time you're done, you not only have confidence in clinical concepts, you also know how to communicate value. You'll learn how to handle objections and then also present solutions. And so these skills are going to help you get interviews and start your career strong. So then our orthobiologics and regenerative medicine program is an 8-week hybrid course focused on one of the fastest growing and really exciting areas of medical devices, and that's biologic sales. Instead of a broad orthopedics program, this program zeroes in on tissue healing, bone grafting, tendon and ligament repair, wound care, and regenerative technologies that are frankly changing the way that clinicians treat injuries. So you're going to learn from seasoned reps how these products are used clinically and sold. Right, you're going to learn, understand. You're going to, learn how to understand the science and how to navigate the buying process in the hospital and the clinic setting. So this is it's perfect for someone who wants to enter the biologics market with a solid foundation in clinical concepts and product knowledge. And just like Total Ortho, this program includes structured sales training and support. Career support. So you're not just learning technology, you're also learning how to communicate it. You're going to be able to position yourself with employers and ultimately get hired. Mm-hmm. And you see on the screen here, Mike, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but right now is really a great time to transition into medical device sales, because here at Medical Sales College, we're running a winter promotion through December 31st. If you enroll by the end of the year, you can save $2,000 on the Total Ortho program and $1,000 on the orthobiologics and regenerative medicine program. So if you've been thinking about making this career change, this is one of the best opportunities to get started with real savings and secure your spot for some of the upcoming cohorts in the next year.
Yeah, perfect. John, I'll echo that. The only thing I'd add is, we've designed these two programs specifically for folks who, due to whatever life circumstances, be it, a current career or family obligations, or just not having a proximity to maybe one of our brick and mortar campuses, we've distilled the best portions of our on-campus experience into these online programs with the latest in LMS technology and instructional design. John spoke to the collaborative nature. So while, you are studying from your house and it is somewhat self-paced, you're collaborating, you're in rooms with your instructor, with your peers, building relationships, building your network, as we know, which is very important to break into this field, not just the clinical knowledge, but who you know. And then there is that on-site component for Total Ortho in Atlanta, where you really get to be hands-on and reinforce the things you've learned with your VR headset, meet your peers, and become part of that MSC family with, reaching close to 5,000 graduates at this point. So we really are excited for this new Total Ortho program. And we're just trying to sweeten the pot for everyone with the savings now. So, it's a 10-week, 10 weeks may seem like a long time, but I know John and I think I saw Steve join and can attest to the fact that, it will fly by. And so if 2026 is that year change for you, we're trying to let you guys have a little more incentive to make that leap, right? Take that leap of faith. So with that, let's go to the next slide here. John, if you just want to speak to just kind of how we, the hiring portion of things and career services and how we feed the industry with sales talent.
Yeah, we've partnered with a number of these companies that I'm sure that many of you recognize if you've been exploring this option at all, medical device sales. We have a direct communication with a lot of these companies. We often have a representative from these companies come in and speak to our students, and in fact, sometimes have impromptu interviews. And so there's a solid connection between Medical Sales College and most of the larger companies that you see here on the board: Stryker, ConMed, Medtronic, et cetera. We recently partnered with but the largest distributor, medical device distributor in the country here in Atlanta, CrossLink. And we've developed a program with them where we have students who are going to become fellowship trained by them. It's an unbelievable opportunity for some of our graduates. You can learn more about that later on. But again, our connection with our industry partners it is solid and ongoing, and we're developing more and more opportunities for our students to go directly from MSC into job positions.
All right, thank you, John and Daniel. Now, if you would, in the same vein of helping people transition into this rewarding career, kind of let us know about MedReps and what your role is.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Let me just start really quick, give you a quick scoop on MedReps. Thinking of us as kind of the go-to destination for your medical sales career. And it's not just medical device. We definitely have a huge presence in medical devices, but we also cover diagnostics, pharmaceuticals, durable medical equipment. Basically, if it's in the industry, we've got it covered in terms of providing opportunities. We've been around for 20 years. In that time, we've helped hundreds of thousands of professionals now land high-paying sales roles. And one of my favorite things, like hearing from members who say, "Hey, I used MedReps back in 2014 to land my last career opportunity. Now I'm back looking for the next thing." Like, that's the ultimate compliment when people trust us and have personally seen the benefit enough to come back again and again. So I think that's one of the things that's really exciting, and something that's even cooler is I have conversations all the time with hiring managers and recruiters, but I've been having more and more conversations with hiring managers who tell me, "Yeah, I used MedReps back when I was looking for a sales role 5 years ago. Now I'm using not as a job seeker, I'm using it as an employer to build out my sales team." That's full circle success, and we love seeing that happen. We've built obviously very strong relationships with some of the top firms and active recruiters in the industry. So as you get this strong foundational knowledge with MSC, and MedReps is a great partner to then leverage that to break in and find the right opportunity for you. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here, just to give some context on the overall health of the industry, this data on this slide comes from PitchBook, it tracks global medtech venture capital activity. And what you're seeing here is the rise in investment. During the pandemic years, 2020, 2021, obviously, massive investment, and then that market slowly corrected because that level of funding was not sustainable long term. But what's interesting now, what matters, if you're thinking of entering the field today, is the trend here on the far right. As we look at 2025, Q1, Q2, we're seeing increased funding, and that just naturally flows through the ecosystem, and that translates in terms of growth and sales opportunities. Let's go to the next slide here. Okay, and this is from MedReps, so this is representative of from a job market perspective. The industry is stabilized. We're returning to healthy, sustainable growth, and that directly, it supports the increase in medical sales roles that we're seeing on MedReps. And just one thing I'll mention here, that in Q4 it dipped slightly. That's very normal. This is there's kind of a cyclical nature to our business in the holidays. A lot of the companies do slow down their hiring. I will say anecdotally that in 2025, I'm seeing that actually change. And there are a number of employers and recruiters that are coming to us in the last 2 months, month and a half, and really looking to expand, looking to grow. A lot of opportunities. So our job count is actually increasing when I would normally expect it to maybe level off or decrease a little bit. So that makes me very excited for 2026. And I think, we got some exciting things looking forward. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. So first, MedReps has kind of a 50-50 mix of jobs posted by direct employers and jobs posted by recruiters. So this slide is about what recruiters are hiring for, and you can see very, very overwhelmingly medical device, 59%. The recruiters are very big in that space. So if you are looking for you're breaking into that space, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be talking to a recruiter, and that is not a bad thing at all. Recruiters have direct connections, they have experience, they know exactly what is needed. So they're a very valuable gateway here for those roles. Now let's go to the next slide and look at what direct employers are looking for. And this is kind of interesting. So, I mean, we have obviously a very diverse breakdown, but the big one here is really pretty new. This healthcare services, healthcare sales services, that wasn't the case 4 or 5 years ago. This was not that kind of a slice of the pie. This is a big growth area, and I would say, you know, the skills that you learn with MSC, those are transferable to different segments of the market. So maybe you know, medical devices is not entirely where you want to go, but there's other opportunities that your foundational knowledge will prepare you for, and it might be in this healthcare services where we're seeing significant growth. All right, so the next slide. This is just kind of interesting. Obviously, with sales, it's somewhat expected that you're going to have a little bit of travel. Usually, you'll be doing a region or an area, and it's kind of interesting though. You'll see that it's that 0 to 25% is by far the largest segment, and then 25 to 50, and then you see less and less where you're looking at full-time travel all the time, right? Like, so it's kind of interesting to see what the expectations might be there. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Terms of compensation, right? So this is interesting. There are definitely jobs out there that are 100% commission based, and you can see that. But it's in terms of what we at least offer on MedReps, that's not the norm. The norm is very much that you do get a base salary, you have a commission structure. A lot of times that commission is uncapped, so you have tremendous growth or earnings opportunity, and that's really more the base case, right? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, where are the jobs located, right? This is really interesting. You might see, at least I was surprised to see Charlotte at the top of the list. It's not it's the number 14 market in the US, but it's the number 1 market in terms of openings for medical sales. This is really, really interesting. There is a lot of companies with presence in Charlotte and North Carolina. There's Amplity, Stryker, Coloplast, Medtronic, Juventix. So it's not unusual, and it's really reflective of the growth of that metro area. So there's a lot of openings there. Of course, you see several, Atlanta's got, number 3 there, Chicago, Dallas. There's very strong markets right now, but if you have flexibility, or maybe you're virtual and you're in North Carolina or want to be in North Carolina, I think there's a lot of opportunities there that would line up well with your interest. All right, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, let's talk about the money. This is interesting. So I will say this is aggregate. This is across all job titles and all experience. So this is very, very aggregate level, but you can see across every segment of medical sales, the earning potential is significant. It's all 6 figures. It's very, very well balanced. You have a lot of opportunities here. So I think this is something that is just really brings home the fact that you can make what you want to make in this industry. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this slide just highlights one of the most important aspects of medical sales, that your earning potential grows consistently as you gain experience. This again is based off of all job titles, so we're not specific to certain roles, but even early career professionals are going to start near that 6-figure mark, and then as they progress by 3 to 5 years, certainly by 6 to 10, you're really kind of almost double that, and then at the 10 plus, you're looking at over $200,000. So this is a very, very rewarding career, as John mentioned earlier. Let's go to the next slide. This one, why this is interesting. We started gathering more data here, and you can see that MedReps members pretty much across the board. There's maybe one area, but across the board make significantly more than non-members, and that just to me kind of again highlights the value of what MedReps offers to members. It's a very, I don't want to say I brag about it, but it's a it's an important thing to highlight. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right. So here, if it's all right, do I have time, Michael? Can I go ahead and do a quick demo, or do we want to?
Yeah, we got a little bit of time here if you want to run through it briefly
All
for
right,
us.
great. Yeah, let me just try to share my screen, and let's just do this. I will just take a very short amount of time. Let's see here. Can everyone see my screen? Do I have the MedReps
Yep, we got it.
search page? All right, great.
Yep.
So this is, I just want to get you right into it. This is the search page. To aim take you to the home page. This is where the meat of the matter is. Everything we just talked about, we talked about industry segments. You can break down by the segments you're interested in. We got filters on particular functions if you're looking to go more granular. Obviously, we have compensations and travel sliders, pretty much all the things that you would expect, as well as, of course, location. We put in Charlotte or North Carolina. You can type it in and set radiuses for metros, as well as keyword searches. So this is what you need and expect. It's very intuitive. You can create job alerts here where you can save it, and then anytime a new job matches your save criteria, you'll get alerted to it. This is where all the magic happens here. A couple other things I'll just highlight quickly is we just launched this in the last 2 months, a salary calculator. And basically you can come in here, put in your experience or your industry, your title, state, etc. Put in some details around what you're currently earning and compare it to what is the national and local results based on it. That way you get a good idea whether and even if if you get an offer, you could put in your offer in here and see how does that compare, and it gives you information that you can use to make a counter offer if you want. So this has been really, really popular with both members and non-members. You don't have to be a member to use this calculator. However, to get that local comparison, that is obscured unless you're a member. And then the other segment I'll just cover quickly is our career advice and industry news. We have a great industry news section where we cover everything that's happening in the industry, as well as some articles on career advice and how to improve. So there's a lot of value to being a MedReps member. All right, let me give back control. That's it. I don't want to take more time, so I'll stop here.
It's a great platform, Daniel, and there's been a lot of improvements over the last year or two as well to the MedReps platform. So beyond those features there's a lot of good resources, and appreciate what you guys have been able to put together. At the end of the day, we're partners, as I said at the beginning of this webinar, because we both have the exact same mission and purpose, which is helping talented, driven people break into the rewarding career path of medical device sales. And that's why we continue to support each other for many, many years, and we'll continue to do so. So appreciate MedReps and Daniel, you guys taking time to speak with some folks with us today. We also have another guest who's joined, Steve Petrus. John, I'm sorry. Here, before we do that, this is valuable. I'm sure people are very interested in this slide here. Dan, do you want to speak to your offer here?
Sure. Yeah. No. So, thank you. So just for anyone, if you go to sign up with MedReps, and I hope that you do, particularly if you have gone through this and this sounds like exactly what you want. This is a 33% off, or basically give you the first month free with our quarterly membership, which is our most popular product subscription plan. So just use that MSC 33 on the checkout, and that'll take it off automatically. I think we'll also send that out on the email at the end of this webinar as well.
We appreciate that, Daniel. Thank you. And sorry, I jumped the gun here, but One of our graduates has been gracious enough to take some time out of what is a very busy schedule to chat with you all today. John, would you introduce Stephen, please? John, you're muted if you're going there.
Sorry, I had a car alarm that was going off, so I muted
No
myself.
worries.
In all sense. But anyway, I am really excited to highlight Stephen Petrus today, one of our former students in the Total Ortho program. Steve, some time ago told me that he was someone who, really desired to help people. And he, in fact, went to college and earned his degree in healthcare management because he knew really that he wanted to make an impact in patients or in people, I should say. But like a lot of us and many career changers, he wasn't exactly sure where to take that degree. So he joined the U.S. Navy and served 6 years as an intelligence officer. When Steve left the Navy, he was introduced to the medical device sales industry through his wife, who was a device rep. I believe she's in the cardiac space. And something just kind of clicked with Steve at that point. He realized that this was a career, this kind of a career could help him achieve his desire to help people in a meaningful way. So when Steve came to MSC, he was telling me that he wasn't really trying to be an expert on day one. He just wanted a strong foundation in anatomy, pathology, surgical repair process, and real industry guidance. And what really stood out to him were the hands-on labs, the VR training, and the instructors who brought him decades of real-world experience. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Steve, who recently joined Stryker back in May. And one of the astounding things here with Steven, and it's really no surprise knowing him, that he joined Stryker in May of 2025, and by the end of July 2025, he was already covering cases on his own. And this is incredibly impressive, and it really speaks to both his drive and how well prepared he was to hit the ground running. So again, Steve, please join us, introduce yourself, and give us some sense of your journey from your graduation to present.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, John, and it's good to see you again. So,
Good to see you.
yeah, so MSC was honestly one of the best things I did for my career because I was kind of in that funk of, gosh, I don't know what to do with my degree. I don't know what to do with my experience. And it took me like 2 years to work up the courage to ask my wife, like, hey, can I do what you do? Because it was just so interesting. It's such a broad field. You could do anything in medical device sales. As we were talking about before, anything that you see in a hospital, like, it's got to get there from somewhere, and that's the medical device rep. That's the medical sales. So there's a lot that you can do. And through medical sales college, as John mentioned before, one of the biggest things it gives you is confidence. It really builds up your skills because it's a lot of information. It's for a lot of you, it's probably a brand new field, brand new profession. And it's a lot of new information, but MSC gives you that confidence and that foundational knowledge of, how to succeed in this industry. And I even had the interview that I had for the position I have right now, I had while I was going through MSC. In fact, when we were in the last week of training in person, I was taking my lunch breaks to go take interviews while we were in classes. So MSC is it's a great program. You get what you put in. So it's a lot of time, a lot of knowledge, but it's rewarding in the end. It's a great program to set yourself up for success. So when I took all that information, they help you with your resumes and networking and all that stuff, and help you find a job. And I think one of the biggest things is your resume, and they sit down with you and help you through your resume, because a lot of jobs, a lot of careers, a lot of companies, they're using a system to where they filter out resumes. And if you gotta have those keywords, those experience type words, and MSC helps with that. They show you how to write a really good resume, which helps set you apart from others that are applying for the same job. And you know, I got picked. There's people that were picked over me for different positions, and it's you just got to roll with the punches. There's a lot of you know, rejection, but you just stay the course, stay true to yourself, and believe in yourself, and you'll get a position. And I think one of the biggest things for me too is to just stay positive. You know, it's a tough process. It's a tough field to get into, but that's what MSC is for. And you're all looking into it because you want to set yourself apart from others. So that's what MSA did for me. And right now I'm working for Stryker and their upper extremities, specifically like the Tournier products. And if you know, do this program, you'll learn about Tournier probably and all that. So it's a very rewarding field. I love the job. I love the position. I love the team that I work with. And yeah, I'm filling in cases now by myself and traveling around, and it's you see something new every single day. So I love the field. I love the industry.
Wow. That's amazing. Steve, there was the one thing you said that kind of struck me, and I try to teach this, and that is to set yourself apart. And you know, your resume obviously is something that's really important. What we try to teach and how we build the resumes is through relevancy, taking your background and the things that you've done in the past, and then create a resume that's going to resonate with hiring managers because they're looking for relevancy. Many people come to us, especially career changers, with resumes that don't necessarily have relevancy built into them. And you know, again, I always want my students to be extraordinary, not to be ordinary, to separate yourself from the average person walking in and applying to these jobs. And these are some of the things that we were able to do. Of course, Steve, you've exemplified that in many, many ways. You are and have been extraordinary. So thanks for participating today.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. It's great to hear the stories and bring the human element to what we do here. And our instructors definitely have that luxury of making an impact. And we appreciate you sharing that story with the rest of us. And continued success, of course, to you. So with that brings us to the conclusion of the planned content. We're actually ahead of schedule, which is great. I would love for anyone who has an opportunity or who has a question on their mind, this is a great opportunity. You have a lot of experience and knowledge on the call right now. So don't be bashful. If there's something either about the program or about the career or about the MedReps platform, now's the time to ask that question. We do have the chat feature, but if you want to raise your hand and unmute, please feel free to just chime in and let us know maybe what's on your mind, what you're thinking about. It can be a question or just kind of into your thought process as to why you want to break into medical device hopefully soon here. So anyone have any questions, taking advantage of this great opportunity here? Not seeing anything yet. Steve, where did you say you're based out of? Sorry, I think you mentioned that, but I missed it.
I'm in the Ann Arbor, Michigan area, so just outside of Detroit. So
Okay.
Cover hospitals like University of Michigan, large hubs like that.
So if you were giving one piece of advice, because most of this audience is going to be potentially interested in the online program, right? And they're looking to make a career pivot. I guess when you were going through that thought process personally, like, can you walk us through what that decision-making tree was for you? Because I got to imagine there is, it's a commitment, right? It's a commitment of your time. It's a commitment of your money. And it's also a commitment to those around you to have kind of the faith of like, I'm going to make a shift in my life. So can you just talk us through what that process was before you decided to apply and then enroll? Like, what was the thought process leading up to it?
Yeah, so kind of just thinking about the industry and the career field itself, it's something I didn't even know existed 2 years before even applying to MSC. When I met my wife, I figured out what this industry was, and it kind of blew my mind that this was a thing. But for me, like, I wasn't I did the 9 to 5 type job. You know, it's something I wasn't really looking forward to. I was looking for some flexibility, some, you know, variability in what you do and your everyday functions. And like I said, I loved healthcare. I love people, helping people. I wanted to be a doctor going into my undergrad study. So I wanted to help people ultimately. And this was like something very close. You get very close with doctors. You help them out. You know, you're kind of sometimes a right-hand man to them, giving them guidance and support. Just a lot of doctors, you get close with them, build relationships, and you know, at the end of the day, like sometimes that surgeon is not going to do a surgery without their rep there. They want you there. And so when I was looking into medical sales college, like, you know, I'm all about growth and development, you know, building the foundation up, building what you know up. And that's why I took an associate role over a full sales rep role. Well, one, I feel like it's easier to break into the industry with an associate role. It's a learning role, but I mean, like I said, I was in covering cases 2-3 months in by myself. So it's a learning role, but it really helps out that associate role position. And yeah, that medical sales college, I wanted to choose it. I did the total ortho program when it was pretty much a brand new program, doing the hybrid stuff. So the VR, the online stuff, the evening classes, because I wasn't near one of your campuses and all that. So, but it turned out really well doing the total ortho program, because I got to continue doing my job throughout the day, and in the evening, take the classes and build my knowledge up. And, you know, being proactive while you're doing the program to apply and learn and work on your resume. It's all critical and important pieces. Being that, you know, proactive person, and in the end, like, you know, you could be doing interviews at the very end. You could have a job at the very end. So that's kind of the process I went through. Is, you know, I was just looking for something specific, and medical sales college really gave me that bridge between where I was and where I wanted to be.
That's great. I mean, and it's exactly why we've designed and created this online program for exactly folks like you. And just to bring it to life is really rewarding for us to hear and see. So that's awesome. Are you I know John you are, but Daniel and Steve, are you open to folks connecting with you on LinkedIn after this webinar? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
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 That's awesome.
I definitely
Because
recommend.
we have Madison here, who's actually in Ann Arbor and considering our program. So I'm sure, Steve, you could impart a lot of great wisdom for Madison if you're open to that. And I would encourage everyone here to connect with us on LinkedIn if you have any other questions, or just to stay in touch with us, of course. We do have a couple questions trickling in now. Thank you, guys. Chrissy's in Houston. Wondering if there's a hybrid style program here. I would like to go to classes in person, but I'm also at an 8 to 5 right now, but can take time off here and there for classes. So John, I'll throw that over to you, you know, but initial thoughts are, you know, the total ortho program is, you know, probably a good fit, and you do get that hands-on component in Atlanta for a week, but maybe speak to also the TO plus structure in terms of the 3 days a week in class, and maybe depending on how much time or flexibility is, that could be an option too, since they happen to be in a city where we have a campus.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we do have a campus there in Houston, and we're there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in class, and of course there's going to be some at-home work you're going to need to do. It is a 10-week program, so if you could if you could carve out those 3 days per week over a 10-week program, then I would recommend you do that, because the experience is hands-on and it's much more immersive. In the event that you can't do that, and I know many of you can't, the TO program is a special program. In addition to learning the anatomy, pathology, surgical repair processes, you're going to get that VR component, which is being utilized in the industry to teach not only surgeons and residents, et cetera, but device reps as well. So you get that experience in addition. And then you come to Atlanta for that final week, and you're going to be coming to the Crosslink facility. Again, this is the largest distributor, medical device distributor in the country. And the experience there, I got to tell you, I was just there last week, is just unbelievable. They have a logistics center that is second to none. And that experience alone, I think, opens up a lot of eyes. We had some students go through that process last week, and we're still talking about it a week later. So that program certainly is an option, a good option, if you're working a full-time position.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, John. A few more questions here from Michaela. Michaela's in her junior year at the University of South Carolina and looking for tips on, what is the best time to start looking to start the program? Any tips for someone in undergrad to get more insight, resume builder? Basically, what can they do now while they're finishing up their undergrad degree to make sure they're prepared to hit the ground running when it's time to get that opportunity?
Yeah, I have students, current students, that are actually still finishing up their undergraduate degree, and I guess it just depends on how much coursework you have, during the week there to finish up that degree. Those people have gotten started with the on-campus program. I don't know specifically what you can do right now to prepare yourself. If you're in your junior year, it really doesn't matter what coursework you've gone on, because we're going to give you that foundational education with regard to anatomy, pathology, surgical repair processes here on campus. So from that perspective, as far as anything in college that you can do now while you're still there isn't anything necessary that I would suggest that you do differently than what you're currently doing. And insofar as maybe preparing your resume, that would come to being on campus. I can't sit here and give you any more recommendations, anything specific, not actually knowing who you are and what you've done in the past. Just realize that we do this all the time. All the instructors, we work with students that come out of college, and in fact career changers, and take your experiences, even though you may have limited work experience. We're able to sit and talk to you and extract from you information that you've done in the past that is relevant to what a hiring manager is looking for. So, if you have more specific questions and you want to work with me, give me a call. Reach out to me. I'm really happy to speak with you and talk to you more specifically about your concerns in this way.
Love the initiative, Michaela. And there's some resources certainly on the MSC blog, but MedReps has a lot of really great content and Daniel, you could probably speak to it better than I could, just so you kind of have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the industry. Daniel, I don't know if you want to highlight that at all.
Yeah, no, thanks, Michael. You did a great job. Yeah, we definitely do keep on that, because it's it's critical to our business and to our members. So strongly recommend. And that's all available. You don't have to be a member to access that information. Obviously, we'd love for you to be a member and find your next career role through it, but you can access that directly in our career advice and news section.
Yeah, check out the blogs on both Medical Sales College and the MedReps site, and you'll get some good foundational knowledge and come in armed with an understanding of the marketplace and the industry, which can only help you. But great question. Elsa asks, would you recommend MSC for recent college graduates, and are there scholarship opportunities? I'll be graduating from East Carolina in this coming May. Congratulations to you, Elsa. John, would you take that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, again, we get people from all walks of life, recent graduates, those that have been out in the world trying to find their way and decide what kind of career path they want to go on. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. And again, reaching out to the college, speaking to our career advisors, or in fact, reaching out to me or one of the other instructors for some input. I'm sorry, Elsa, you're in Carolina. So if you're anywhere Greenville, if you're close to Charlotte, we have a campus there. We have a great instructor there, Steve Bishop. I highly recommend, if you're close enough or within striking distance to go on campus, and get that experience. Speak to the instructor, and you also, in many cases, have an opportunity to speak to some of the students who are currently enrolled in the class and talk to them about their experiences and learn firsthand what that is like.
Yeah, can I add on to that, John?
Absolutely, Steve, please.
Yeah, so for one, Steve Bishop, one of the best instructors that we had for the total ortho program, he really gives you down to earth and just no BS, like this is the industry, and gave me a lot of tools for, especially for interviews and all that stuff. He gives you a lot of questions and sits down with you and all that. But for your college graduates and those that are going to be graduating, don't be afraid to look into internships too. Internships and having MSC on your resume saying like you're going through the program and all is going to set you apart for an internship. Because those internships, you know, sometimes lead to jobs in the end too, but at the very least they get your foot in the door for you know, the industry, so you can see what it's like and all that. And a lot of companies, especially during the summer, are looking for some extra help. So don't be afraid to look at the internships before a full-time job. It can really help out. And like I said, MSC, you know, having that on your resume, there's a lot of people applying for internships. That's going to set you apart too.
Thank you, Steve. Love that. And then to the point on scholarships, while we don't have any active scholarships at this moment, we do have the discounts for the online programs. We do have scholarships throughout the year. So I would encourage you to make sure you're on our email list and checking our emails, or periodically checking our website to see when the next scholarship opportunities are posted. But great questions. Congratulations again on the upcoming graduation. All right, we are a little over time, but there is one more question here if we could get to it briefly. Casey is from California. She's been in marketing and e-com for over 9 years, and lately feeling the draw to the idea of a career in medical sales. It's exciting and a little intimidating, which makes sense. But she's looking for any insight or advice about making a career shift when you're not necessarily fresh out of college anymore. I don't know, I guess, John, we'll just start with you just to keep consistent here, but any thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, you know, we get students from all stages of careers, recent graduates to, you know, I've had people in my class who are in their 60s making a career pivot. So it really doesn't matter when, you know, what part of your career, what time in your career you're making this pivot. You need two things. One is a desire to, you know, to help people, right? And then of course you want to make a good living, and both of those examples were something that I needed to know and be able to check off those boxes in order to make the pivot myself many years ago. So to answer your question, you don't necessarily have to worry about where you are in your career. We're going to give you that foundational, and I've said this before, we're going to give you that foundational understanding and education in the anatomy, pathology, surgical repair processes. And also, as we're going to help you in a career advisement capacity, develop the resume appropriate for the industry and set you off and give you the best opportunity that you can to enter this career very strong.
Love that. And then also as a follow-up, Casey, we have another instructor here, Scott Holdsworth, who did that exact thing, was in more of a marketing space, and even was in a marketing space in industry. So there are other pathways, as we've talked about, besides being, you know, maybe the typical, you know, trauma OR sales rep. There are other potential career paths that are very rewarding personally and professionally within the device space. So we'll be sure to follow up with you on that. But thank you for letting us know kind of where you're at, where your mindset is, and letting us into kind of what you're thinking about. We are over time now, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time, including our panel. I see some questions here. Lena's got a question. We will follow up, Lena, with those questions about location and tuition. We do have a summer cohort in New York, though, that you may be interested in partnership with Mercy University, but your career advisor will reach out to you. I do want to thank our panel again, and certainly Steve for taking time to share your story with us. You can see next steps right here on the screen. That QR will take you to an application. So you can get a little more information from, again, our career advisor and admissions team. Definitely encourage you to go to MedReps and take advantage of that MSC 3 free code for your discount to take a look at what that platform can provide you as well. Look, I mean, at the end of the day here, these are two really good opportunities in terms of value for taking that leap and really changing the trajectory of your career. So if you're really considering it, now might be the perfect time. And again, your career advisor will be following up with you. We'll also be sending out a recording of this webinar, but follow us on our socials. Please go connect with Daniel and John and Steve on LinkedIn, so you can see what they're up to and really get an understanding of what MSC and MedReps does, what Stryker does, what the industry is all about. And yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in your inboxes. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
you.